And joining us now with his weekly report card is Mike Preston from the Baltimore Sun. Mike, this game at Cleveland for the Ravens reeked of a trap game, and they fell right into it. Let's kind of generalize. I would imagine C's across the board. I want to start with the offense because we're going to dive deep on the defense. Just overall from offense, whether it's Lamar Jackson, the running backs, receivers, O-line, how did they kind of grade out in this 29-24 loss at Cleveland?
Well, and you were correct. Mostly C's. Lamar gets C+. The comeback, the fourth quarter rally, the running backs, not much from Derrick Henry today. Offensive line got beat up, especially inside. Wide receivers dropped quite a few passes. So basically, they all got C's.
Let's go with coaching, because I think some of those head scratchers, slow starts on offense can kind of go on the coaching staff. Do the Ravens just kind of overthink this, or are we not giving enough credit to the Browns defense, or just the AFC North in general?
One, you got to give some credit to the Browns because they got some issues here. I mean, you got a new quarterback. Deshaun Watson went down. You heard all the stories about the threat of them possibly moving from this stadium to out in the suburbs. So they kind of got beat up this week. So you knew you were going to get either a great team or a pitiful team. Okay, they got a good team. I mean, the Ravens got the good team today, but the coaching. I mean, some of they got a little too cute, you know, with some of the 4th and 1. No, just run the ball. Put in the backfield with Lamar Jackson. And then the inside reversed stop. You got a 235-pound fullback or 245-pound, just run him, all right? But they got a little carried away. And you look at the history of Ravens, they always play down to their competition. It happened today. The secondary, though?
That's where I want to go. I want to go the defense. We talked about it before last time I had this with you with the game. Who knows? Pick your poison. Besides the Bills game, we're talking about the Ravens secondary underperforming. Where on earth does this secondary, this pass defense, I know they didn't have Marlon Humphrey. I know they didn't have Nate Wiggins, so down some bodies in the secondary. Where do they go from here? Because they brought in Dean Pease, and they've had a couple weeks to fix this pass defense, and it simply has not happened.
Well, I encouraged them in tomorrow's column to bring in Chuck Pagano, Rex Ryan, Greg Madison, bring them all back, because right now it's not working. Whatever you're throwing out there, and these guys aren't even close. That's the bad thing. It's one thing to get beat one-on-one, but when you're not even close to these guys, that's communication. That's a problem area. So, no, they got a D-. Linebackers, not really happy with Roquan, not really happy with the outside linebackers. Not much of a pass rush. So they get a C-. Defensive line, they couldn't stop the run. Nick Chubb got after him today. I mean, some really tough runs. So they get a C, and basically that goes for the entire team. It was a C effort, and they lose.
Special teams, you're also giving a C, I believe. Yes, I have a C for you for special teams. We don't talk about it enough. You don't really talk about special teams until something bad happens. Justin Tucker missed another 50-yarder. Just in the return game in general, non-existent for this team, or bad decision-making by those returners. Where do you put the fix on special teams when it's John Harbaugh's bread and butter and his specialty and what Horton is going to do to move this group forward?
Well, you know what's kind of interesting is you saw Tampa Bay last week have the short kicks, and then Cleveland comes out and they do the same thing, and I'm like, that's not good. Where did you get that from? But their special teams were much better than Tampa Bay's, and they held the Ravens. So, hey, good job by the Browns. I was a little surprised by that. We're going to have more questions about Justin Tucker now because he missed a, 50-yarder. We're going to have questions about his leg strength again. So it kind of just goes over. But the bottom line, Morgan, is if Lamar doesn't put on his Superman's cape, can this team win? That's the question. And that's the answer they have to come up with before the end of the season and going into the postseason.
And can the defense do enough to not step on his cape and hold him back when that's happening? Quickly, I just want to get your thoughts. We talk about need to change so many things, especially in the pass defense. They've got 4 games in 22 days' time. That's not a lot to do. And when you're talking about health in November, just kind of where do you see the state of the Ravens in this month of November as we head that way?
They're now going to hit into that tough stretch, you know, where you have those games and they're back to back for like almost a month, where you're playing them over and over and over again. I thought they had to go like 6-2 to hit that stretch and then kind of figure out where they are. But the injuries are going to show up, where they're already starting to show up. So this is a tough stretch. It's a crucial stretch for this football team, and we'll see what happens. But offensively, they're fine. defensively, a lot of questions.
Mike Preston from the Baltimore Sun, as always, thank you for your weekly report card, and we will see you next week after the Broncos. Thanks.
Alrighty, thanks.